Hey guys, Pinello here. I'm a comic book artist and writer, and in today's video I'm going to show you a top secret tool you can use in Clip Studio Paint to add the Terminator. Before we go any further, please like and subscribe to this channel so I can keep making these videos. It will help me a lot. Well, in case you don't know what the Terminator is, let me show you. This is the famous light theory ball. You can find a pic of it anywhere on the internet and books. So the Terminator is what we call the line that divides light from shadow. As you can see right here, this is called the Terminator. Now that's an oversimplification, but that will work for the time being. Now hopefully you have seen my previous video about me showing the method I use to color a comic book page. In it you can see me working the shadow of my illustration in a separate layer and then applying a mask so I can work over it. I'm going to start working my shadow layers in this illustration, in this page that's for a comic book called Trillion for CATACLYSM comics. You can check it out on the internet. I have my local color set up in a different layer, and above it I have set up an ambience light layer, as I've stated before. So I'm going to choose a color that will actually combine with my ambience light. So in this case I want a warm color for the shadows. So and the entire page is made by warm colors, as you can see. So I'm going to choose a warm color for it. In this case I'm going to choose a red color that I'm going to put above all my color layers right now, and then I'm going to apply a mask right here. Then I'm going to fill that mask with transparency, and voila, there you go. Now you can start working on the mask, so you can start rendering. There we go. Now you can see right here that my brush has a little bit of opacity in it, but what I'm looking for is to render first and then apply a different mode to this layer. For the shadows you can use multiply, that's the common way to go, and then lower the opacity so you can see the shadow layer, right? Okay, but what happens with multiply is that it's a very muddy layer mode, so your colors will be a little bit too, how do you say, just turned off. Yeah, so it's not dark, but it's not bright enough to give the joy of color to your illustrations. But what I do is I change that layer mode to hard light, and now you can see that you have more saturation to your color. You can lower the opacity and then work with that rendering, or you can then go to your color layer, pick your select your color layer for your shadows, and then hit Ctrl U and work with your hue, saturation, and brightness tool that appears, and then change the saturation, maybe not that much. I usually go for 30 and then lower the brightness, and that way you can play with that. Now what happens with the hard light mode is that when you go over the top with the brightness, the layer will start acting as a screen mode. You can see it right here. So that's the beauty of the hard light layer. You can use it in both ways, a multiply layer, and you can use it as a screen mode layer. So I'm going to bring the saturation a little bit further, maybe twice, back, and then lower that brightness over here. Then you experiment with your colors, and let's say this is what I want. Okay, then I lower opacity, maybe 30% as well, and there you go. As you can see here, I have a very dark color in my as my main color, but I'm not using the multiply layer, so it has a little bit more saturation to it. Let's continue working with the render. Okay, so I'm not going to finish rendering this piece completely, because there's a lot of things I need to take care before I do that, like skin tones and gradients, and you can watch that in my other video. But right now what I want to show you, and what this video is really about, is that that line, the tool that you can use in Clip Studio Paint. So you go to this menu right here, the layer. It's called property, layer property, right above your layers, and then you hit on the border effect, and that will change the image. Okay, again, this is working on my shadows layer. Now I hit that button again, it's border effect, and that will change that brightness, as you can see right there. Now if you were working just in a shadows layer without a mask, that would be enough, but as we're working with in a mask, then we're going to apply it right here where it says effect range. It says image, and then you click and change it to masked image, and now you can see that we have a little line right here, right? So then you can change the border color to whatever color you may like. Let's say, oh no, no, let's change it to yellow, for instance. And what I like to do is change that border effect to this watercolor border. So you click on this, and then it will appear like faded, that faded line right between the light and the shadows layer. And you can change the values here. It says the area that it affects, the opacity, the brightness, and the blurred area. So what I like to do is just, I have a specific setting for it. It's like maybe something like this. 60. Oh no, this is 0.60. 0.40 and this 50. But you can play with these settings until you find what is best for you. Okay, so in this case, because my brush it has a little bit of opacity in it, maybe the I should change the darkness. What happens if I change the darkness? You'll see the brightness, I'm sorry, you can see the dark areas right here. But let's leave it like it were. And if we change the opacity, let's put it to 100. You can see that it does have that border effect. Now I'm going to leave it like it was, 40, and this is like in 50, this 60. Oh, there you go. So there you go. That's one way to do it. You can see it right here. I can add that Terminator. It depends on what you want. You can actually change to border effect and play with that. If you don't want it colored in yellow, you can color it in, I don't know, let's say orangey, like an orangey color, and you can see that brightness. Now the cool thing about this is that if you chose like the noise tool and then go ahead with your transparency off, you can actually erase some of those borders and soften them. See, you soften that brush, that brush stroke, and that border will remain. Now you have your, for me, I mainly use like this one, watercolor effect, and you can use it as a very specific tool for that, and you can see the difference. So let's deactivate it and activate it so you can watch it, and there you go. This is it without it, and this is it with it. It's very subtle, but you can see the Terminator appear. It's a very efficient way to do it. You can see it better with this in this shirt right here. And again, if I change my settings of the soften, I can soften that shadow. You can use a soft brush or in my case I like to use the noise brush because it gives a nice texture when working with it. Finally, you can also download some quick action tools from the asset store, and they will do kind of the same thing, but you have a little less control over it because it's automated. So find out what works best for you and your style and apply it to your work. Hopefully you found something of value in this video, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. It will help me a lot. Keep grinding and see you in the next video.